When I think about life and all the challenges I've faced, I realize that overcoming isn't something that happens suddenly. It's a daily process that requires courage, patience, and most importantly, action. Many times we feel stuck, looking at the past with regrets or the future with fear, not knowing where to start. I learned that to move forward, the first step is to accept that pain and difficulties are part of life. There's no point in trying to ignore them or pretend everything is fine. We need to face our problems head on, understand what they're trying to teach us, and acknowledge that every experience, no matter how painful, carries some lesson. This is the starting point. Accept the situation without blame or judgment and mentally prepare yourself to act. One of the first things that helped me was recognizing my own feelings. I always tried to be strong, swallowing everything, thinking that was a sign of courage. But I discovered that real strength lies in feeling, processing, and then taking action. So, I began to set aside time to reflect, write about what I was feeling, and try to understand why certain situations affected me so deeply. This helped me identify patterns, realize which decisions hurt me, and determine which people or behaviors I needed to avoid to not repeat the same mistakes. From this, I learned a fundamental lesson. Overcoming is not about forgetting, but transforming pain into learning and strength. Another key point is setting small daily goals. When everything feels heavy and hopeless, looking at big objectives can be discouraging. So, I started focusing on small, consistent steps, getting out of bed with intention, doing something that motivated me, even if it was simple, taking care of my physical and mental health, and staying in touch with people who uplifted me. Every small step is a victory, and these victories accumulate to make a difference. I learned that we don't need to solve everything at once. It's more effective to focus on what we can control right now and let the rest come in its own time. During this process, I realized that forgiveness is essential. And I don't mean only forgiving others, but also forgiving ourselves. Often we carry guilt and regret, which prevents us from moving forward. I went through moments where I felt responsible for past mistakes, for decisions I made or opportunities I missed. I learned that forgiveness, especially toward oneself, is liberating. It doesn't erase the past, but it gives us freedom to act in the present and build the future we desire. When we start forgiving ourselves, life feels lighter, and our energy can be directed toward growth rather than holding on to resentment. Another important lesson was not being afraid to ask for help. I always tried to handle everything on my own, thinking that asking for support was a sign of weakness. But I discovered that trustworthy people can offer different perspectives, valuable advice, and emotional support when we need it most. We don't have to face every challenge alone, and accepting help is an act of courage and intelligence. This includes seeking professionals like therapists or coaches when we feel we need guidance to handle complex emotions and situations. I also learned that self-care is essential for moving forward. Often we neglect our own physical and mental health, thinking we can ignore our needs while focusing on external problems. But I realized that taking care of the body, mind, and emotions is the foundation for overcoming any difficulty. Physical exercise, healthy eating, meditation, quality sleep, and leisure moments are powerful tools for maintaining energy and resilience. When I committed to self-care, I felt that I was building a solid base to face bigger challenges without feeling overwhelmed. Another shift in perspective came from redefining my expectations and priorities. Often we feel frustrated because we expected different outcomes or believed life should follow a certain path. Accepting reality and adjusting our expectations gives us freedom to act clearly and focus on what truly matters. This means identifying what we can change and what we cannot, and concentrating our efforts only on what depends on us. Learning to let go of what is beyond our control is liberating and allows us to move forward more lightly. A crucial factor I learned is focusing on the present. Many times we are stuck in the past, dwelling on mistakes, or anxious about the future, imagining scenarios that may never happen. This drains our energy and prevents us from acting now. I learned that the best way to overcome and move forward is to live in the present, doing the best we can today with the circumstances we have, and trusting that the future will be built from the choices we make now. Small conscious decisions every day build a more resilient and positive life. I also discovered that gratitude is transformative. Even in the toughest moments, finding small things to be grateful for changes our perspective. Being thankful for life, health, supportive people, and the lessons learned creates positive energy that propels us forward. When I began practicing gratitude daily, I felt my mind lighten, my worries lessen, and my motivation increase. Gratitude doesn't eliminate problems, but it changes the way we view them, making it easier to find solutions and move forward. Another essential point is developing emotional resilience. This means learning to deal with frustrations, disappointments, and challenges without letting them overwhelm us. I learned that we cannot control everything, but we can control how we respond. Every difficult situation we face is an opportunity to train our mind, strengthen our character, and develop confidence in our ability to overcome adversity. Resilience is not born from ease. It's built when we face storms and still find strength to keep going. Additionally, I realized that maintaining routine and discipline helps a lot during times of crisis. Creating healthy habits, organizing the day, setting clear goals, and monitoring progress provides a sense of control and purpose. When we feel lost, routine serves as an anchor, reminding us that we have power over small actions even when large problems seem uncontrollable. Small daily achievements accumulate and strengthen self-confidence, showing that we are capable of moving forward step by step. I also discovered that letting go of what harms us is crucial. Often, we hold on to relationships, habits, or situations that tie us to the past and to pain. Releasing these things doesn't mean weakness. It means having the courage to prioritize our well-being and future. When I let go of negative people or circumstances, I noticed that my energy became lighter, my mind clearer, and my ability to act with focus and determination increased. Another vital aspect I learned is learning from mistakes. Every mistake I made, every decision that didn't work out, was an opportunity for growth. Instead of punishing myself, I started analyzing what could have been done differently, what lessons I learned from the experience, and how to avoid repeating the same patterns. This mindset transforms frustration into learning and equips us to handle future situations better, boosting self-confidence and the ability to move forward. I realized that celebrating small victories is essential. Often we only acknowledge big achievements and forget that every small step counts. I began celebrating daily victories, waking up motivated, completing tasks, facing fears, and overcoming emotional challenges. These celebrations strengthen self-esteem, remind us of our worth, and motivate us to continue advancing even when the journey still seems long. In addition to everything I'd already learned, I realized that accepting change is one of the most important steps to move forward. Life is unpredictable, and resisting the natural flow of situations only generates frustration and emotional exhaustion. I learned that every change, no matter how unexpected or difficult, brings an opportunity for growth. Accepting that things won't always go as planned allows us to adapt, reinvent ourselves, and find solutions we might never have imagined. This acceptance transforms resistance into flexibility, and flexibility creates freedom to act with intelligence and courage. A strategy that proved essential was challenging my own fears. Often what holds us back is not the external circumstances, but our own minds. The fear of failing, not being enough, or experiencing pain again can paralyze us. I realized that facing these fears, even gradually, strengthens us in incredible ways. Each small action I took despite fear increased my confidence, showing me that courage is not the absence of fear, but acting in spite of it. Over time, fear stopped being an obstacle and became an ally, reminding me of my inner strength. I also discovered that having purpose is a powerful motivator. Knowing why we're fighting, why we want to overcome and move forward, gives meaning to every effort. For me, this purpose began as a simple desire to live better, but evolved into a pursuit of personal growth, learning, and contributing to others. Having purpose transforms difficulties into challenges we want to face instead of burdens we want to avoid. Every action gains significance, every step becomes firmer, and every obstacle becomes an opportunity to demonstrate resilience. Another crucial point was maintaining healthy and inspiring relationships. Surrounding ourselves with people who support us, challenge us to grow, and inspire us to be better makes all the difference. For a long time, I maintained connections that drained my energy, and I only realized the negative impact when I observed how I felt after each interaction. I learned that it is essential to invest time and attention in people who add value to our lives while knowing when to distance ourselves from those who harm us emotionally. Positive relationships provide support, motivation, and remind us that we are not alone on the journey of overcoming. I also learned to transform negative thoughts into learning and action. In the past, every negative thought or self-criticism made me feel incapable and insecure. Gradually, I began observing these thoughts, questioning their validity, and replacing them with constructive reflections. What can I learn from this? Or how can I improve this situation? This practice does not eliminate challenges, but it changes how we respond to them, making our mind a tool for growth instead of an emotional obstacle. A powerful lesson I realized is that patience is essential. Overcoming does not happen instantly. It is built day by day. For a long time, I wanted quick results and became frustrated when I didn't achieve them. I learned that respecting the timing of each process strengthens our perseverance. Every small improvement, insight gained, and step taken is a brick that builds a solid foundation for the life we desire. Another vital lesson was staying active and productive. When we feel unmotivated or overwhelmed, the tendency is to freeze and let our minds wander in negative thoughts. I realized that maintaining some form of activity, physical, mental, or emotional, creates a sense of control and progress. Whether it's walking, exercising, reading, studying, or doing creative work, these actions help channel energy, reduce anxiety, and create momentum to move forward. I also discovered that tracking progress is motivating. Writing down achievements, reflections, lessons learned, and small victories creates a tangible record of growth. When I look back at my past accomplishments, I realize how far I've come, even when it felt like I was standing still. This reinforces self-esteem, strengthens confidence, and shows that progress is real, even if we don't immediately feel it. Another shift in perspective came from practicing conscious gratitude. Instead of being thankful only for major events, I began to value small things. The sunrise, a conversation that brought joy, a seemingly minor achievement. This daily habit changes the way we see life, generates positivity, and increases motivation to overcome challenges. Gratitude builds emotional resilience, reminding us that even in difficult times, there are reasons to move forward. I also learned that emotional self-control is a crucial skill. In moments of crisis or stress, it's easy to react impulsively, make hasty decisions, or let emotions take over. Developing the ability to observe my feelings, pause, reflect, and then act transformed the way I handle challenges. This practice allowed me to make smarter decisions, maintain healthy relationships, and respond constructively to difficult situations, even when everything seemed to collapse. Another essential aspect I discovered was keeping a positive and active mind, maintaining constructive thoughts, seeking inspiration from books, podcasts, stories of overcoming, and continuous learning helps create a healthy mental state. The mind is like a muscle. The more we exercise it with positivity and learning, the stronger and more resilient it becomes. This mental care complements physical and emotional self-care, building a solid foundation to face adversities. I also learned to celebrate progress, not just end results. For a long time, I only recognized big accomplishments, which led to frustration because small victories went unnoticed. When I started valuing each step taken, every advancement, no matter how small, I realized I was building solid and consistent confidence. Celebrating small wins creates daily motivation and reinforces the belief that we are capable of overcoming bigger challenges. Another practice that proved powerful was maintaining healthy and consistent habits. Routine, discipline, and consistency are allies of overcoming. Creating habits that strengthen the body, mind, and spirit, like exercise, meditation, balanced nutrition, continuous study, and daily reflection, build resilience and increase the ability to face adversities without feeling overwhelmed. I discovered that consistency beats sporadic intensity. Continuous progress is more effective than isolated efforts. I also realized that taking responsibility for my own life is liberating. It's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or life itself for the problems we face. But this attitude only keeps us stuck. Taking responsibility means recognizing that while we cannot control everything, we can control our actions, choices, and attitudes. This mindset creates personal power, self-esteem, and motivation to act instead of remaining stagnant. Another essential point was letting go of what we cannot control. Many moments of suffering arise from trying to control situations or people beyond our influence. I learned that focusing only on what's within my reach gives clarity, reduces anxiety, and allows me to move forward more efficiently. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means choosing where to place our energy to achieve real results. I also learned that self-compassion is an incredibly powerful ally. For a long time, I was my own harshest critic, constantly pointing out mistakes, failures, and moments when I didn't measure up. This attitude only drained me and kept me from moving forward. When I began practicing self-compassion, treating myself with the same patience and understanding I would give a friend, I realized that strength doesn't come from constant self-criticism, but from acceptance and internal encouragement. Understanding that everyone makes mistakes and that each experience is an opportunity for growth helped me handle frustrations better and move forward with confidence. Whenever I find myself in moments of doubt, I remind myself that I am doing my best under the circumstances and that every effort counts. Another point that became essential was cultivating a mindset of continuous learning. Life offers lessons at every turn, whether in professional, personal, or emotional challenges. I started to see each obstacle as an opportunity to evolve, not as a punishment or failure. This completely changes how we approach problems. Instead of getting discouraged when difficulties arise, I began asking myself, what can I learn from this? How can I become stronger and more prepared? This mindset not only helped me overcome difficult moments, but also transformed me into a more resilient, confident, and proactive person. I also realized that challenging limiting beliefs is crucial. For years, I internalized thoughts like, I'm not capable, or I don't deserve good things. These beliefs shaped my decisions and limited my potential. When I started questioning them, confronting these thoughts, and replacing them with constructive affirmations, I noticed that my inner world changed and my actions reflected this new perspective. Challenging limiting beliefs is a continuous process, but it's essential for moving forward and achieving results that once seemed impossible. Another powerful practice was visualizing and planning the future. Often, we live reactively, only dealing with problems as they arise, without a clear direction. I learned that creating goals, imagining in detail where I wanted to go, and planning concrete steps to reach those goals provides focus and motivation. Visualization is not just dreaming. It is preparing the mind and heart to act, to overcome obstacles, and to persist until results materialize. When we combine visualization with consistent action, even the greatest challenges become attainable. I learned the importance of having a positive support circle. People who inspire us, motivate us, and believe in us are essential for our journey of overcoming. During times of doubt or difficulty, Having someone to share experiences with, ask for advice, or simply listen can be transformative. This circle doesn't have to be large, but it must be genuine. Identifying who truly adds value to our life and investing in those relationships strengthens our emotional resilience and helps us stay on track. Another valuable lesson was learning to deal with criticism and external judgment. Too often, we stop moving forward because we care too much about what others think. I learned that while we can't control what people think, we can control how we respond. Receiving criticism constructively, separating what is helpful from what is harmful, and staying true to our goals strengthens confidence and allows us to move forward without fear of disappointing others. I also realized that active gratitude is a catalyst for moving forward. It's not just about acknowledging what we have, but truly feeling and expressing this gratitude daily. I began writing down things I'm thankful for every morning and evening, and this practice transformed my perspective. Even in challenging times, I noticed reasons to continue, moments to smile, and inner strength to persist. Gratitude doesn't remove problems, but it changes how we perceive them, turning challenges into opportunities for growth. I learned that emotional self-control is a crucial skill. In stressful or crisis situations, it's easy to react impulsively, make hasty decisions, or let emotions take over. Developing the ability to observe my feelings, pause, reflect, and then act completely transformed the way I handle challenges. This skill allowed me to make smarter decisions, maintain healthy relationships, and respond constructively to difficult situations, even when everything seemed chaotic. Another essential aspect I discovered was keeping an active and positive mind. Maintaining constructive thoughts, seeking inspiration from books, podcasts, stories of overcoming, and continuous learning creates a healthy mental state. The mind is like a muscle. The more we exercise it with positivity and learning, the stronger and more resilient it becomes. This mental care complements physical and emotional self-care, creating a solid foundation to face adversities. I also learned to celebrate progress, not just outcomes. For a long time, I only acknowledged major accomplishments, which led to frustration because small victories went unnoticed. When I began valuing each step taken, every advancement, no matter how minor, I realized I was building solid, consistent confidence. Celebrating small wins creates daily motivation and reinforces the belief that we are capable of overcoming bigger challenges. Another practice that proved transformative was maintaining healthy and consistent habits. Routine, discipline, and consistency are allies in overcoming challenges. Creating habits that strengthen body, mind, and spirit, such as exercise, meditation, balanced nutrition, continuous learning, and daily reflection, builds resilience and increases the ability to face adversities without feeling overwhelmed. I discovered that consistency outperforms sporadic intensity. Continuous progress is more effective than isolated effort. I also realized that taking responsibility for my own life is liberating. It's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or life itself for the problems we face, but this keeps us stuck. Taking responsibility means recognizing that while we can't control everything, we can control our actions, choices, and attitudes. This creates personal power, self-esteem, and motivation to act rather than remain stagnant. Another essential lesson was letting go of what we cannot control. Many moments of suffering arise from trying to control situations or people beyond our influence. I learned that focusing only on what is within my reach gives clarity, reduces anxiety, and allows me to move forward more efficiently. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means choosing where to put our energy to generate real results. I also discovered that strategic planning helps turn dreams into reality. Setting clear goals, breaking them into manageable steps, and monitoring progress provides focus and discipline. Planning gives direction, but requires flexibility to adjust the course when unforeseen events occur. This combination of planning and adaptation strengthens confidence, and increases the likelihood of success. I learned that empathy and understanding toward others also strengthen our own journey. Helping, supporting, and listening to others not only builds positive connections, but also teaches us to handle our own difficulties better. Sharing experiences and offering support transforms the way we see the world, creating a cycle of mutual growth that keeps us motivated and connected. Another essential point was identifying and confronting self-destructive behaviors. Often we repeat mistakes or habits that harm us out of fear or routine. Recognizing these patterns, reflecting on them, and replacing them with healthier behaviors is crucial to moving forward. This process requires honesty, courage to change, and discipline to implement new practices. Additionally, I realized that celebrating authenticity and embracing identity is vital. Accepting ourselves as we are, with our strengths and limitations, builds a solid foundation to face adversity without constantly seeking external validation. Accepting who we are strengthens self-esteem, boosts confidence, and makes it easier to move toward our goals with determination and clarity. Finally, I learned that daily perseverance is the true key to overcoming. There are no magical formulas, shortcuts, or quick solutions. Overcoming challenges requires continuous effort, discipline, resilience, and the courage to keep going even when everything seems difficult. Every action taken, habit cultivated, and internal reflection contributes to a fuller, more conscious life, capable of handling inevitable hardships. By following these practices, I learned that overcoming and moving forward is not just a goal, but a daily journey. Every challenge is an opportunity for growth, every difficulty a chance to learn, and every small step a victory that deserves recognition. Today, I look at my life with clarity, confidence, and hope, knowing that regardless of what happens, I have the tools, habits, and mindset to face any adversity. Overcoming does not mean forgetting, but transforming pain into learning, fear into courage, and challenges into opportunities. Moving forward is about choosing to act every day and believing that each step brings us closer to a stronger, more aware,